hanging out here tonight, out on the edge of these city lights. All these thoughts going around my head. You're looking at me with that look again. So I reach for you in the glow. Our stars are burning up, I know. There's a quiet out here tonight, out on the edge of these city lights. Slow motion, baby, like a dream.
Man, we made it to Livorno successfully, and I got diesel and I'm moored in a proper space. It's a free space, which is very nice of them, but it has no power. So what I'm going to do is walk around back to over there where the fuel dock was, and I think there's a place there that might be quite inexpensive, but who knows. I'm just glad I made it. Okay, just in time. I spoke to the chap there and they close in 10 minutes, so I'm just going to go back to the boat, and they said it was like, I don't know, 22 euros a night, which for a marina in Italy, that's good. It would be very easy just to pick the nearest marina on Navali or whatever and just book it, but you'd end up paying around 40 to 60 euros a night because that's what they charge. Whereas if you poke around a little bit and get a bit more exploratory, then you find something for 21 a night. And I'm not rich. It's funny, people go, oh, you got a boat, you must be loaded. And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's not, I'm fucking loaded. It's hard work, but I like it. I like the fact that even though I'm freaking old, I'm trying something completely different. I'm so out of my lane here. Yeah, it's like I don't speak Italian. I know not a lot about boats. I screwed up coming back here. I just, you know, people must think I'm insane. People might be right. I mean, when I say I screwed up coming back here, I didn't screw up badly. I just put the wrong throttle in the wrong direction for about a second. But I don't like doing that. I like getting it right. So, I mean, I'm not a perfectionist. You might have noticed. But I like to get things at least on the board, if you know what I mean. Okay, that was pretty funny. I couldn't get the power to work. I connected it up, I checked it, I double checked it, I changed a few things, still nothing. I put a little test light on it, no power. So I go to the guy, I'm like, I don't have power. And he comes out and he goes, oh yeah, you have power, clink. And he turns it from green to red. I suspected it was gonna be a bit on the cheaper side because it's not very glamorous. There's the fuel stations right there. Everything's just a bit janky, but that's fine because 21 euros a night, I don't need a super posh toilet. It's a very different marina. First marina for 4 nights. So I'm glad it's cheap. But anyway, there's no internet or anything like that. So we've got a few days of wind and rain coming in, so I'm gonna drop the bimini and put on the rain cover because I am really glad I locked everything down earlier. It would not be fun doing it now. I was planning on moving the boat today, but it's a little bit shitty out there. Actually very shitty. Little cold, little wet, so I may well just sit here and move the boat tomorrow. I want to get to about 35 kilometers south of here towards the Rome area, But if the weather's just chilly, it's just not much fun moving the boat. You just sat in there, it's cold and wet. Even if you go inside the boat, you still got to come outside the boat occasionally. So I might just sit tight for another 24 hours, or if it clears up this afternoon, there's about a 40% chance of that happening, then I'll move the boat this afternoon anyway. But bit grim here in Italy today.
There's a quiet out here tonight, out on the edge of the city lights, slow motion, very like a dream.
I was not expecting to see the Scarlet Lady. I've been on that boat, not cruising, but when it was moored in Dover, my friend Lauren was working on it, and she's like, come on, take a look. Hang on. Oh. It's just a little fishing buoy. You just don't want to run into them, because you'd screw up a fisherman's day and it might get caught in your prop, so avoid those things. Anyway, Scarlet Lady, yeah, I'll put a link below into the video that I shot on the boat. It's a beautiful boat. It's a new level of cruising, and not everyone is going to want to go cruising, but if you do, that boat is freaking amazing. It's funny, you wake up in the morning and you open the maps on various applications and things, and you go, oh, I'll go there, and it's like this distance, it's not far at all. And then you set sail on the boat, and then you see something like way in the distance, and you're like, oh, reality. Ah. Right now the waves are about 1.2 meters out there, and if I wait a couple hours they drop down to 0.7, maybe 0.8, which makes a whole lot of difference. It really does. It just means the boat's more comfortable, I'm going to use less diesel, and it's just nicer. So anyway, it's not a bad place to just wait, but I do have to stay on the boat, which is okay. Well, we've got a good load of fuel on board. We're about 85% full on both tanks. I wish I could have filled up completely, but I didn't have enough money in that account, so if you can see, there's the ferries going between this island and the mainland of Italy. But it's nice. It kind of reminds me a bit of sort of Catalina Island. It's a bit bigger than Catalina, it's got more people, but it's about the same distance off the California coast as we are off Italy. So there you go. Anyway, about another 45 minutes of hanging around, eating some breakfast, lunch I guess, and then venture off. We're going, it's a long way. There's an island there, and then right over there is, it's about 25 kilometers across. Autopilot on.
The third and most mysterious piece of non-absoluteness of all lies in the relationship between the number of items on the bill, the cost of each item, the number of people at the table, and what they are each prepared to pay for. The number of people we've actually brought in.
Having made it across the bay, which I would rather do with 2 motors just because I kind of wanted to get across the bay, I'm now back down to 1 motor. It loses me about 1.5 knots in speed. So instead of doing 8, I'm doing 6.5. But you're using literally half the fuel because you've only got 1 engine going. And I'm not in a hurry. One of the reasons for having a boat is you're not in a hurry. Don't buy a couch. Don't be in a hurry. And you might be wondering, if I can deal with life on the boat with 1 engine, why have 2? because sometimes you want two. You want as much power as possible because you need to get somewhere and you need to get there relatively soon because the weather's closing in, the port might be closing, or the sea conditions aren't great for one engine and going slowly. Sometimes you want to just like go fast and push through the waves, and the boat's a lot more stable when you're going faster. Also, it's very maneuverable. If you get into a small little harbor like I was just in back in Cavo, you kind of want to have that control, because I have a bow thruster, but it doesn't actually work. I got to get that fixed when I get to Malta. But without that, even with that, having two propellers that I can turn in different directions gives me infinitely more control than one engine. So I'm really glad that I picked this boat instead of the one I was thinking about getting. So all good. The weather's actually getting a little bit worse, so I'm gonna move my life downstairs and cover up this and then run the boat from downstairs, because I don't like sitting out here when it's raining, and there's no need because I have downstairs. We've got about 45 minutes to go before we get to the next destination. Very quiet, and there's no waves. This is nice. The number of times I thought, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be no waves, no wind, no rain, no nothing, and then you get there and it's horrible. That's happened more than once, but I'm pretty sure tonight is going to be super calm, because we're at 1 meter. Yeah, 1 meter under the keel, which is just over 3 foot, which would make me nervous. I wouldn't do it in the UK because there's tides, but here it's fine. I mean, the tides are about this much. All right. I tend to back up a little bit as I'm dropping the anchor chain, because it just means that the anchor chain's not getting all bunched up together. Tonight's mooring spot, and it's actually even calmer than I expected it to be. It's so quiet, I feel guilty starting my generator, and I'm way out here. Oh well. I don't need the generator. At least I don't think. I think there's plenty of power there. But very pretty.